Do you know why it will be dangerous for humans to maintain their body temperature at 40 degrees Celsius? Let's find the answer. Enzymes are biological molecules that made of proteins that speed up the rate of reactions that takes place inside cells. Since enzymes are protein, they're mainly affected of four reasons: enzyme concentration, substrate concentrations, temperature, and pH. First, let's talk about the effect of enzyme concentrations to the enzyme's activity. Look at this picture. These pictures shows the result of investigations in which the different concentration of enzymes were added to the same concentrations of substrate. In this picture, you can see the shape of all five curves is similar. In each case, the reactions begins very quickly and then gradually slow down as the curves levels off. To look at the effect of the enzyme concentrations to the enzyme activity, it is the best to look at the very beginning of the reactions, because once the reactions is under the way, the amount of the substrate will begin to vary because the breadth of the substrate converted into the product will begin to vary in all five reactions, because all the five reactions have different rate of reactions. So it is only at the very beginning that we are sure that the factors that affecting the enzyme's activity is only cause of the enzyme concentration. From this graph, it can be concluded that the more enzymes present, the more active site will be available for the substrate to slot into. So as long as the amount of the substrate is available, the rate of reactions will increase linearly with the enzyme concentration. Now, let's talk about the effect of the substrate concentrations to the enzyme activity. Look at this picture. This picture shows an investigation result which the enzyme concentrations is kept constant while the substrate concentrations is varied. As the substrate concentration is increased, the initial rate of reactions will also increase. What is the reasons? Because the more substrate are around, it means that the more often the enzyme's active site will bind with the substrate. However, if you go on increasing the substrate concentration while keeping the enzyme concentration the same, there comes a point where all the enzyme active site are all occupied with the substrate. So if more substrate were added, the enzyme simply cannot work faster because the substrate molecule are too lean for the enzyme active site to be available again. Now, let's take a look at the effect of temperature to the enzyme activity. Look at this picture. At low temperatures, the reactions takes place very slowly. This is because the molecules are moving relatively slowly. The substrate will not often collide with the enzyme active site, so the binding between the substrate and the enzyme become a rare event. But as the temperature increases, the movement of the enzymes and substrate become faster. So the collisions between the substrate and then the enzyme active site will occur more often. So that's why at higher temperature, the rate of reactions will also increase. However, above certain temperature, the structures of enzymes vibrate so energetically that the bonding that hold the enzyme structures in its precise shape begins to break. So the enzymes will lose its shape and activity and said to be denatured, and usually this is irreversible. So if this case is happened, the rate of reactions will decrease. Enzymes has the optimum temperature where they work the best. Most of the human enzymes, they have the optimum temperature around 40 degrees Celsius. By keeping our body temperature of 37 degrees Celsius, we ensure that the enzymes at our body work at their maximum rate. But it will be dangerous for the human to maintain their body temperature at 40 degrees Celsius because as even a slight increase, it will denature the enzymes. Or in other words, we will die if that happened. Now, let's take a look at the effect of pH to the enzyme activity. Let's take a look at this picture. So, most of the enzyme, they work the fastest at the pH around 7, which is very neutral conditions. However, some of the enzymes like protease pepsins, which is found in the acidic conditions in the stomach, has a very different optimum pH. Now, we'll talk about the immobilized enzymes. So, enzymes are commercially used in a very wide range. For example, in medicine, food technology, and industrial processings. Enzymes are expensive. No company wants to buy them over and over again if they can recycle them in some way. One of the best ways to keep the enzymes safe is using the immobilized enzymes. So, immobilized enzymes is where the enzyme is attached to the inert insoluble material like the calcium alginate. So if this is done, this will provide the increase of resistance for the changes in conditions such as pH and temperature. I think that's all for our lesson today. Don't forget to do the exercise and homework on Edmondo. See you later!